Libertarian Party's vice presidential candidate. Thank you, sir, for coming in.
Thank you, Don.
You're the former U.S. Assistant Attorney General. What do you think of Director Comey's decision on this whole email investigation?
Oh, I think it was a misstep. I mean, he had to weigh the risk of potential criticism of him afterwards if the evidence turned out to be abba-zaba against the certainty of interfering with the election. And he had to bear the risk of criticism of himself on his shoulders, in my view. So he should have not gotten involved in the election season. Now, I'm quick to say he has long had a good reputation. So I think it was a bad day, a bad judgment, not the end of the world. And I think the important thing to keep in mind is that we should not panic and rivet on this matter and think that it should dominate the last 8 days of the election campaign. You know, if you look at the context, these are emails the FBI has probably already seen. They have no idea what's in them. They haven't looked at them yet. I would say the odds of them proving to be material look to me, and it's not an unpracticed eye, to be 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000. So what's everyone getting so excited about?
Well, I mean, that's what happens. You know, we are in a very contentious election season. So you think that he should have waited to see if there was anything incriminating in there before making an announcement?
Actually, your update just now said that he, or the FBI says they're not going to do updates every day. That's the first good news on this I've heard in several days, because what I was afraid of is it was going to be water torture. We looked at another email. We got another warrant. This is going on, that's going on, you know, so that would dominate the headlines. So I think they should be, you know, seen and not heard between now and the election.
Had he done what you said, he stood the risk of looking like he was trying to help Hillary Clinton in some people's eyes, no?
But that's why they pay him the big bucks, you know? He's going against a lot of Justice Department history and principles, and, you know, before weighing into the election, he should have gone to the Public Integrity section of the Criminal Division, which is my old shop, my flagship division, and said, what do you folks think? But he didn't do it. He took it on himself, and he should have taken the risk instead of going forward.
So you think it was all him? Do you think he knew the incredible impact that this would have?
No,
just days before
I doubt it very much. I think he was thinking about people in Congress yelling at him for covering something up, and that carried the day with him. And if he'd taken a longer view, thought about the impact on the election and even our democratic systems, which is why those Justice Department protocols are in place there, he would have come out the other way. He might even say that himself with the benefit of hindsight, although he can't say that out loud.
Do you think, I'm sure you heard Alan Dershowitz, the conversation that I had with Alan Dershowitz, Paige Payton, and the other gentleman about whether or not he should come out and correct the letter or revise the letter publicly. Do you think he should do that? Would it be wise of him to do it?
I think it'd be awkward for him to do it. What's he going to say? Yeah, here's the update letter I gave you. Actually, we have no reason to believe there's anything here, and so I probably shouldn't have sent the letter. I don't think that's happening in the real world. I think what we need now is a lowering of voices and get on with the final week of the election campaign. I think this damage is substantial but curable if everybody is grown-ups and just says, okay, this was a hiccup, but there's really, so far as anyone knows, there's nothing here. And that's the honest truth.
Yeah.
And then we could get on with things.
You know, you and your running mate, you disagree on this. Here's what, well, let's listen to him and see how much
we do differ.
Right,
not for the first time.
Yeah.
I think unquestionably, if she takes office, she is going to be under criminal investigation. Unquestionably, this is going to be the nation's agenda for the entire time she is in office, and it may well end up in impeachment. This is Watergate kind of stuff. This is really deep, real stuff, and all you have to say, all you have to recognize is the FBI would not have done this. This is not political. This is anything but political because of the fact they dropped this investigation in July, saying that to clear the decks for the election.
Watergate, what do you make of his remarks?
Well, I've always been, quote, softer on Hillary Clinton than Gary Johnson has. But, yeah, no, I don't agree that it's true that there must be something there or the FBI wouldn't have done this. Even Mr. Comey's own letter said, we don't know that there's anything here. You know, we're sending this letter to you out of an abundance of caution so that no one can criticize us for having sat on information. So that's more how I see it. And as I say, this was my bailiwick for 7 years.
Yeah, and so you would know about it. You have been really outspoken recently with criticizing Donald Trump. Why is that?
Oh, I don't think Mr. Trump has the temperament or the stability to be president of the United States. And I'm not referring to any one policy issue that he's espoused, although I disagree with, you know, the immigrants and the wall in Mexico and all that. But that wouldn't be enough to call forth what I've said. You know, we're dealing with nuclear proliferation and America's place in the world. And a president is subject to constant criticism and, you know, people setting their face against him. I think Mr. Trump has shown, even in the presidential debates, that he doesn't respond that well when he's subjected to direct challenge and criticism. And we can't have a president of the United States who's flying off the handle, as I think Mr. Trump would.
So quickly, I want to ask you, so if you think he doesn't have a temperament, are you saying, I know you would like to win, you and Gary Johnson, but do you think Hillary Clinton has a temperament?
Yes, I do.
You do. Simple as that.
Right.
Why?
I know her. I worked with her. I've known her for 40 years. You know, the picture that her opponents, who have been gunning for her for years, paint is not an accurate one, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. So you, in the battleground states, the polls are tightening, and do you think that you may take votes away? Are you worried that you will take votes away from Hillary Clinton? Is that
well? I'm
cross
going around the country appealing to Republicans, particularly so-called moderate or decent or civility Republicans, saying, how could you vote for Mr. Trump? He's not advancing any position that's ever been associated with the Republican Party. So I think the best polling shows that we're already taking more votes from Trump than from Clinton. I know some early polling said, oh no, millennials, you know, the libertarians are going to kill her with millennials, but I think that's more than evened out. And to the extent that people pay attention to what I'm saying, that's going to get to be even more the case, so we'll be taking even more from Trump.
Governor Weld, it's a pleasure.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you for
Great
coming
to be
on.
with you.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we come right back, and Hillary Clinton